Hello everyone, welcome to the podcast with Bakhtiyar. Today I have Pratham Barot sir, who is the founder of Zell Education, and he is one of the few who started, I guess, coaching. Uh, I don't know, a decade back or what, but I have seen him as a your gold learning provider or platinum.
Platinum.
So he's platinum, and also I guess your coaching also organize the exams at centers also.
Right.
So yep. So welcome to our show, Pratham sir, and it's great to have you because I've been waiting for this for a long time. I guess when I have started, I've spoken to you, and at that time schedules were pretty busy going on. And welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Like how sir, give your introduction, something about you, how you started your journey, how it went, and how it's going now.
Yeah. So, मतलब काफी लोगों को पता है. So basically, when I was in college, I picked up ACCA back in 2010 when it was absolutely unknown. And the reason was because I had completed my 12th. I was fairly decent at academics, my accounts, and understanding of the natural understanding of business, and through that, looking at numbers came a little naturally to me. So accounts was a strong subject, but for whatever reason at that time, I was not too sure if I wanted to venture into the chartered accountancy field. So, and the CA course is still the primary option for most people. And I still suggest people that if you are interested in CA, so your number one option if you're here in India should be ICI. But that being said, a lot of people, including me, were not sure that, is this my lifelong goal? Because it would take me a minimum of 4.5, 5 years to clear everything if I did it the first attempt. And then after that, what if I was not? My father is in the hospitality industry. So my family has anyways been running a restaurant chain and projects on management of hotels and all of that. So I've always seen a business background. So I was not sure if a CA professional life was something that I was absolutely open. I had no problem. So somebody I knew had done ACCA in UK, and he was recommending that kar lo ye, acha hai. So I just picked it up that time. And with my college, I've always been the kind that if I don't know what to do, then don't wait, right? Do anything, pick it up, keep moving ahead. And then if in the middle you realize कि कुछ और करना है, तो जो किया है वो ठीक है. It's just going to keep you on your toes. It's okay if you then have no use of it, but don't wait to find the perfect solution. So I picked it up, completed it along with college. In my college also, in my second, so I took up BFM, which in Bombay is like a BCom specialization in financial markets. So वो 3 साल था. First year में मैंने ACCA चालू कर दिया, and I finished ACCA along with my college. And in my second year, I started working also for the articleship equivalent of ACCA. So basically, by the time I got done with college, it all paid off because I had my BCom like everybody else. I had my ACCA papers completed, and I had 2 years of work ex with me. So 21-year-old ke liye na thoda, it was a little of an decent advantage for me. And after that, मैंने 6 months का break लिया था. I worked with my dad, and then I applied in all the major companies. And KPMG, Deloitte, I interviewed in KPMG for accounting advisory, in Deloitte for due diligence, and PwC had applied for transfer pricing. And the first offer that came to me was from PwC. And I basically picked it up. So PwC में 1.5 साल काम किया फिर. And that's when it all came to me. I had the opportunity to teach sometime in when I was in college. When I was in PwC. And I had तो वो थोड़ा था कि यार ठीक है, we're 22, 23. तभी थोड़ा था कि let's do something. And I realized that ACCA में if I completed it, nobody around me was aware, but I got a job in a company like PwC, and they put me in the same position as that of a chartered accountant. Matlab, they hired me, my designation, my salary, my team, my client-facing role, everything around me, everybody who was hired with me as a fresher was a CA. But of course, the advantage I had was that I was sort of the youngest on the floor because ACCA at that time advantage, right? So I sort of had 2.5 to 3 years of work ex, which was all okay for PwC that time. Because my papers ho gaya tha. I just had to wait for the work experience to get over for me to go from ACCA affiliate to a member. They said no problem, and I said, "Kya, if it's happening with me, right? And I know millions, I knew a lot of people who were wanting to study finance and accounts. Okay, so I'll refer to that as FNA, finance and accounts, which is CA in India. But there were, everyone was not wanting to go through the CA route, and it's not anybody's fault as such, right? CA is a wonderful program, but it has its own duration, which is minimum, passing rate, which is tough. So if you clear CA, there is a reason why you respect, right? Because it's not easy. But I was not looking for that. I was looking for a career path, and for me, I wanted to figure it out quickly. तो मैं काफी जल्दी figure out कर सकता था कि क्या करना है. So ACCA was brilliant, right? It gave me similar knowledge, like a CA, except for maybe local tax of India. But otherwise, everything was the same. All subjects, right, are more or less the same. IFRS was coming into India in the form of Ind AS, so wo sort of cover ho gaya. Topics like costing and financial management are conceptual. So whether I study in ACCA, CPA, or CA, knowledge is going to be the same. That you don't do financial management differently in UK versus India. Yeah, time I got, I finished everything in 2.5, 3 years. So I remember when I was in PwC and I was in fact deciding to leave after 1.5 years, I was wishing my friends who started CA with me when I started ACCA, I was wishing them best of luck for the first attempt, because of the time difference. So I was, if they had cleared in the first attempt, some of them, then they would get a job in a company like PwC. And I was already 1.5, 2 years ahead, out of nothing except that I had this lucky opportunity for me. So when I was leaving PwC that time, तभी था कि कुछ कर लेते हैं. My parents were damn supportive, hi, yaar, because I never messed around with studies or basic responsibilities when I was growing up. So they never really had ऐसा वो doubt, वो जो start करने में वो जो general doubts होते हैं ना कि अरे कैसे करेगा, difficult है ये, that never came to me only. I was more encouraged. And I stumbled upon US Shark Tank that time. तो मेरा तो business MBA वो ही देख के देखते हो गया. So it was a very good culmination, right? I saw an opportunity. I wanted to do something. I had support. I found inspiration through shows like Shark Tank. And Shark Tank पे ना, I would not look at the entrepreneurs as much as I would look at the sharks. मेरे को ना उनसे बहुत ज़्यादा motivation मिलता था कि ऐसे लोग कर सकते हैं यार zero से. So together it all in 2015, basically with my partner who is my college friend Anand, we basically launched Zell. With no major expectations कि यार करते हैं. And I gave myself a time limit. Okay, in 1 year, if I don't make as much as I would make in PwC, then I'll go back to the professional. I would be 24 in 1 year. So I had time. But yeah, touchwood, it picked up. So it started with 2 of us, ACCA in Bombay. Today we have around 5,000 students actively studying with us. We have ACCA, CFA, CMA, IFRS. Like I was telling you, we have a lot of B2B options right now to serve. We are launching more products. We are around 200 employees in the company. We have offices in Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore. We're opening in Chennai, Hyderabad, Pune, and we're launching more options because big companies in India are showing us the way forward as to what they think that their requirements are. So for freshers, if we offer that as a bridge, right? If KPMG wants these kind of people, we work with them, make a course. If it's already a certified course, great. Then we become powerful trainers and then help them with placements. Otherwise, we create curated courses for the Indian audience in FNA. And students come study with us for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, depending on the duration, and we help them get placed. So yeah, that's the story of how it's happened, and we're damn lucky because ACCA has told us that we are the largest B2C player in India. In CFA, we've got every year we do between 1,500 to 2,000 students. So that's going really well. CMA is going, and then so on and so forth, right? So
Yeah.
Finance and accounts में EdTech all online, with high passing rate, with superb faculty and team members, and a happy audience, thankfully customer base, right? And we help them get placed also. So
Yeah.
it's a whole ecosystem that we've been able to create over the last 7.5 years, and that's the detailed journey of how it all launched and where we are today.
So it's like more of inspirational when you like said like I want to start. देखते हैं कि भाई एक साल में पीडब्ल्यूसी इतना बना लेते हैं कि नहीं बना लेते हैं, अगर बना लेंगे तो ठीक है आगे बढ़ेंगे, वरना ठीक है वापस चले जाएंगे.
इनफैक्ट तभी तो मेरा पता, मैंने खुद का एक वो टारगेट बनाया था कि इतना इनकम करना है. बट उससे ज्यादा ना मैंने ये सब 2-3 चीजें सोची थी कि यार क्या होएगा, थोड़ा बहुत सीखने को मिलेगा. एंड आई वाज वेरी आफ्टर वाचिंग एंड बीइंग इंस्पायर्ड बाय शार्क्स ऑन शार्क टैंक, राइट? दिस इज द यूएस वर्जन बैक इन 2014 2015. मैं बोला यार खुद करना एक तो, बिकॉज माय आई कुड हैव डन इट विद my dad, and I had enough support. But Joe, luckily today when I look back, right, the good part was I went through that grind, that struggle, और बहुत मजा आया because so I said to myself कि क्या होगा, एक्सपीरियंस मिलेगा एक तो वो अच्छा होगा, अगर थोड़ा पैसा आ जाएगा तो कैपिटल बिल्ड करेगा. I didn't want to fund, I wanted to bootstrap, I wanted to basically not take any debt off. And debt for me is not loans. Debt is any form of money from anybody, friends हो, family हो, bank हो, when angels हो, VCs हो, फर्क नहीं पड़ता था मुझे. I was not interested in the fundraising process at that time. और फिर देखेंगे यार अगर बनेगा तो फिर कैपिटल भी बनेगा, and then we'll see. It was more of let's do it. तभी there was a fire to enjoy work and my personal life, right? वो मुझे वो नहीं करना था कि Monday to Friday work, look forward to Fridays and Saturdays, because that was my life in and I've done a lot of jobs, by the way, even though I started working very young. So my 17 years old, I first worked randomly in an event management company. Then I worked 2.5 years in my articleship, 1.5 years in PwC. I taught along with this for 2 years. आपने शार्क टैंक देखा इंडिया का?
हाँ.
उसमें नमिता थापर है ना?
हाँ.
So for 2 years in the middle, during Zell, I worked with her in one of her other ventures, which was in teaching entrepreneurship, right?
Okay.
I helped my dad set up an operation in Bombay, which he wanted. He needed help. So I've done a lot of things, right? तो मुझे पता था कि यार मुझे जो चाहिए था ना was I liked taking accountability. So if I run fast and things go well, it's good for me. And if things go bad, I'm ready to take the hit, you know. And which I was never going to be able to get, which I was not at least getting when I was doing all these things, because most of them I was not responsible at the end of the day. Well, I was for myself only, not for the rest. So it's like, yeah, let's just go all out. You know, and very, very grateful, very thankful that it paid off.
EdTech में bootstrapping एक ऑलरेडी एक एंटरप्रेन्योर है, मतलब एडटेक के एक टीचर हैं, तो उन्हीं ने कहा था कि सबसे ज्यादा खतरा तब लगता है जब बूटस्ट्रैप करके कोई आता है, क्योंकि मार्केट वही कैप्चर करता है, क्योंकि बाकी जो है वो तो उनका इक्विटी फाइनेंस खत्म हो वो भी खत्म, तो वो तो आउट ऑफ द गेम होते हैं, वो तो खाली मार्केट से जाते हैं. बाकी जो बूटस्ट्रैपिंग होते हैं वो मार्केट से मेन बनाते हैं चीजें को. सो बूटस्ट्रैपिंग वाला जो है वो आपका कोर कॉम्पिटेंसी एक तरह से है. सो दैट्स
100%. और क्या होता था ना, we are very fundamentally we try to be very self-aware and sound with respect to our organization, right? The metrics which I have kept an eye on from day one, right? Because actually we studied ACCA, so we basically understand finance and accounts.
Correct.
And as long as you are conscious enough, right? You don't fall in the fad or in the trend of burning, whatever. It's a choice. It's not a right or wrong thing. So my choice was that यार मुझे पता नहीं क्या a model which was burning to capture growth. Okay, I was not sure. So I stuck to my gut, right? I stuck to unit economics being profitable. I stuck to my main goal के end of the day कुछ भी कर लो, ठीक है, कितना भी organization बनाओ, कुछ भी team का करो, कुछ भी offices या products run करो, students have to pass, right? The goal has to be very clear. So my whole company, all the meetings I have, the management meetings I have, the board of meetings that I have, I don't let anybody fall under the trap of what's happening in the. We have to be aware, but chubby times are tough, right? Goal is, are the customers happy? Are customers referring? Right? क्योंकि अगर मेरा base वो रहेगा ना, तो आगे का I can deal with pandemic हो या market winter हो funding का या फिर edtech में ऊपर नीचे cycle हो, right? So more than bootstrap being the core competency, what bootstrap forced me to keep an eye on, right? Not to burn unnecessarily for marketing, right? We market strongly, but it has to be very well controlled. It's not done just to brand ourselves alone, right? So bootstrap has helped me, and every team member, nobody's allowed to burn. That mentality, if you come to Zell to work with that edtech mentality, so at the interview level also we cut, at the monthly KPI and at the quarterly review level, which we have, we've set it up very fundamentally aligned to customer centric focus, you know. और ये सब Shark Tank से ही सीखे थे. So that's what I would call my or Zell's US जो भी आपने बोला moat.
So ये जो customer centric वाला है, this I have seen because your passing percentage is more than the ACCA passing percentage. So this I have observed. So actually मैं भी अभी ACCA में हूँ, so 9 papers completed है. So I keep an eye. So किधर क्या हो रहा है? So I have seen the results. So sir, like you have seen, like अभी आपने बताया कि आपका काफी ज्यादा busy schedule and all that stuff going on. So how do you keep yourself, like plan yourself for self-care, and आप कैसे उसको अपने आप को फ्री टाइम कब देते हो? How you enjoy that time?
Sure. So एक तो ना, over and above growing the company and taking care of customers ना, I also 2 months back I also got married. So मेरा तो last
congratulations.
Thank you so much. So that has also been a massive mind share and time share of my life. But what I'll tell you, 2 things. One is though, I think time management, right, is a personal strength. I think is mine. I'm very good at not having to feel overwhelmed with work, and the ability to prioritize, to be able to see. So I read a lot of books, right? So there are some concepts which, you know, over time stick. मेरा book का क्या concept होता है ना, मैं book लेता हूँ ना, and I go through the 300 pages ना, and I only care about finding that one para which will give me something to work on in that book, right? That's like the mentality. So almost every book will give you something for sure. So the ability to build basic frameworks in your mind and work on it to see if it's working has given me a lot of advantages, right? Of course, there are many millions of mistakes also made, but क्या होता है कि my ability to know how to foresee my day and my week, you know, I learned, for example, I don't only see today or tomorrow, right? I try to see the entire 7 days, 20 days ahead. And I get a sense of what my day is going to be like, right? I understand when fires come up and how to, you know, when some things are urgent, how to know how deep I should go in it, right? What is important, I try to not lose sight of it. So I work on it slowly but surely. You know, I try to see 2-3 steps ahead if I can. कि अगर मैं ये करूँगा तो क्या होगा, and that equation keeps running. So that gives me a lot of relaxation when it comes to my time management, right? And of course it's still like yesterday only I was in the office till 1-ish, and I got home around 1:30. मेरी बीवी अभी नहीं, बेचारी सो रही है, क्या है यार तुम लोग काम ही करते रहते हो टाइप. So I understand, right? And today, the, you know, from this podcast to spending time with family, and at the end of the day customers come first. तो कुछ भी होता है that becomes, and luckily my whole support surrounding is very supportive. And lastly, when it comes to enjoying, यार सच्ची बोलूं तो 2 things. One is, because of time management, I able to find time, right? I sometimes sacrifice things in terms of Zell or personal very consciously. So it's not that everything also I get. But at the end of the day, मुझे बहुत मजा आता है यार काम करने में. So the desperation to look for personal time, I sort of merge it in my work. So my family is also supportive. My friends also are very, like me, and my work is also very, it's doing well. So uh, I don't feel burnout as such. And जब भी होता था तो it's easy, yeah. You just, you know, prioritize and take that break. But I don't need the weekly sad Sundays off. Uh, I don't need to schedule it. I go with as per my body. Sometimes I work for months at a stretch without a break, and it's fine. So for me, it's not planned as much as it is constantly on a daily, hourly basis. I'm able to picture, and then I'm relaxed. So as long as my core, I know my family time is sorted, I know my work is sorted, I know my customers are happy, and any of the major things break, so I completely focus on that. Otherwise, things are more or less going to be aligned.
So, this I guess you have answered also the how you keep yourself motivated, but you have already told. But there's one more question which got popped up. Like, how do you, because you said you started very young,
Yeah.
21 you are done.
23, I launched Zell. Yeah.
23. So,
Yeah.
what advice would you give to your younger self? Maybe 10 years ago or 15 years ago,
Yeah.
like what should you haven't done that it still pinches you, और उसको अभी चाहो तो आप जाके सही कर दो किसी तरह से.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, यार सी मेरे को ऑनेस्टली ना नहीं है कोई रिग्रेट ऐसा, बिकॉज I followed what I wanted to do and everything is paying off. See, what I would tell myself again, rather, let me not do कि क्या करता मैं अलग, because honestly I wouldn't, but I'll tell you what I did do and I would do again, right? Like I said in the beginning, I try to not, uh, I try to not take it easy as far as I can, right? I try to not, if, like I said, if I don't know what to do, does not mean you wait, right? That whole thing of being proper and perfect, I don't believe in, I didn't believe in. So that means if I go back, like for example, after 12th, I didn't know what to do, right? As such, Malab, I was more or less open, right? So CBT, at time CBT was an option, right? ACC so I took, but I also gave, there was an actuarial science ka entrance exam at Utpal Sangvi College in Bombay. My dad was in the hospitality management, so I gave this, it's called the IHM exam.
Okay.
Institute of Hotel Management, right? I kept on doing things till I figure it out. So my priority was, यार अगर पता नहीं क्या करना है, so keep doing stuff, right? When it comes to personal, right? I don't play a lot of sports, but I used to gym a lot. I used to, as in I still do. थोड़ा शादी की वजह से थोड़ा कम हो गया है. But otherwise, it's I used to, my health wise, I would always make sure that I'm working out. I would keep making sure that I'm chilling with friends, I'm with family. So I never had, any opportunity I got, right, I would always say yes and then try to figure it out. Like when I was in PwC, I got a teaching, which means on Monday to Friday, I would go to PwC. Saturday, Sunday, I would travel really far to teach. So I was working all 7 days, but I was having the time of my life, right? मुझे बहुत मजा आ रहा था काम करने में. When I joined Zell, when I started Zell, Zeld to Thai, I was helping my dad also. I joined this Namita Thapar's project also. उस बीच में कुछ और आया था, which I was doing parallelly. So there was never a reason for me to be like, यार ये नहीं किया ना. Honestly, यार अभी it's not that that I'm so 20-30 years and so massively successful that I will have enough understanding, right? ये जब spend time with family वाला जो मैं बहुत सुनता हूँ, when this question is asked, कि यार time with family come, I would have worked less, और मैं बचपन में invest ज्यादा करता, for example, या skill सीख लेता, या travel ज्यादा करता, मैं सब करता हूँ. So I'm more or less quite satisfied with the way things have been going. Maybe in 5 years, if we'd sit again, आप पूछो तो मैं शायद कुछ और ज्ञान दे सकता हूँ, और what do I tell myself?
So, as ACCA back to थोड़ा professional track पर. So
Yeah.
how this ACCA is going? Like अब तो बहुत ज्यादा है इंडिया में. Like when you did it was वो किसी को भी नहीं पता था. वो तो ऐसा
Yeah.
लग रहा था वो कुछ नहीं
It
है
was
किसी की.
absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So now it is trending. So how do you think, like, when the ACCA thing will reach its highest peak in
Yeah.
India?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there any timeline to reach it there, where demand meets the supply?
Yeah. I'll tell you. I don't have a timeline in mind, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be a timeline related thing, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
like every year there is an entire not only generation of freshers who are now eligible. Uh, ACCA is uniquely flexible. Okay, after 10th also you can start. After 12th, like CA, everyone can start. And if
Mm-hmm.
you are above that, right, you get
Mm-hmm.
the benefit of exemptions. So it doesn't deter somebody senior also to start because you don't have to really waste energy, waste time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Opportunities with respect to Indian companies. Earlier, when I was doing it, was only the big four kind of companies and
Mm-hmm.
Grand Mountain and BDO, right?
Yeah.
Who are aware also about ACCA. And usme also it was
Mm-hmm.
only the partners and maybe the HR heads who would be aware, who
Mm-hmm.
understand the global exposure. But
Mm-hmm.
today, our placement team, on an average, every day, literally in a month, we are onboarding new companies who are open to hiring ACCAs at all different levels, right? At an article level, at a fresher
Mm-hmm.
level, at a experience level, right? We had only MNCs which were still scaling. I had a call with one of the big four yesterday morning with the talent
Mm-hmm.
acquisition head on
Mm-hmm.
the requirements in India growing
Mm-hmm.
and our ability to deliver quality candidates to them. But tier
Mm-hmm.
two companies, tier three companies, one vacancy, 10 vacancies across different geographies, tier one, tier two. And this is only India, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we have so many of our candidates who either come from Dubai to study because it's
Mm-hmm.
faster or cheaper in India, or go
Yeah.
to the Middle East because their family se leke recognition of ACCA is still good over there compared to,
Mm-hmm.
in spite of all the volatility, right?
Mm-hmm.
And overseas as an opportunity is always open. ऐसा नहीं है कि आज पढ़ के आपको कल opportunity मिलती है. And that's not what most of our students are looking for also, right? They know
Yeah.
India में भी है. So, you know, the way we comfort students is कि यार आपको अगर abroad ही जाना है, so then wait till you're at the last 6 months, because there is no chance that today, you know, if you want to go to UK, when you finish, you'll be ready, because right from your own growth and completion,
Mm-hmm.
if I take any country, uski economy, right from the visa conditions to what is the situation and the conditions over there, right? Do you need an invite? Do you have an opportunity from here? Do you go there, work and find your way up? It's so varied that if you want to go abroad, do it because you need this as the base, right? An international
Mm-hmm.
qualification. But your
Mm-hmm.
path will be defined by how you are progressing. We have a lot of our faculty members who go to Canada, who've gone to Australia and are settled there, either teaching literally ACCA only in their respective
Mm-hmm.
countries or finding work, right? I know husband wife do a very recently who got a job in KPMG Canada, and they were CAs, but their bridge to Canada KPMG they were working in India KPMG. Their bridge was do the last professional level for ACCA, right? And they got that jump. I know of students who are struggling with CA. They completed ACCA, worked in one of these big companies, and they got an offer for a secondment in cities like San Francisco. So the opportunities are just growing, right? I have one of my students who started ACCA as soon as he completed his 10th, right?
Oh.
6 months after his 12th boards, right? So
Mm-hmm.
10th में चालू किया, 1.5 years he studied ACCA, 6 months boards में दिया, boards के 6 महीने के बाद he finished ACCA. He is in his F5 BCom, finished his ACCA, got a job as an intern in PwC and is killing it right now, यार. But मतलब 19 years में he's done his papers, he's done. इसके बाद he's just going to do what he wants to do. MBA करना है, abroad जाना है, ये करना है, वो करना है. So with respect to saturation, I think we'll have to see how maybe this year goes, or maybe a year or two goes. see how it's settling down. Because companies which we are sending our candidates to are more or less happy. The attrition is low. The learnings are high, right? Indian companies are not preventing ACCAs from working in CA equivalent fields unless it's signing authority required, or like I said, there is direct tax or indirect tax where it requires specialization, or even companies law and all. But the entire arm, the advisory arm, right? Accounting advisory or IFRS, risk management, mergers and acquisitions, valuations, forensic audit, internal audit, statutory audit also, by the way, unless, like I said, unless you are looking at a director level, right, or a partner level, that's a different game. But the entire journey till then, अगर आप CA हो और मैं ACCA हूँ, हम साथ में same client को audit कर रहे हैं, our accounting auditing standards are more or less the same, right? I have to probably pick up a little bit of understanding of the Indian context, which, of course, if I'm not ready to do that, then I don't deserve to work. Then, so what's the point of me being an ACCA?
Yeah.
So that's how basically the saturation is not really something to for me to bother about right now.
So you have said about one thing in this, people go abroad. How about work coming to India? Europe is opening because they have less people. You also know that they don't have in past 2 years वहाँ लोग नहीं हैं. They are calling people, but people are not going because of the high expense level and everything is going at inflation is very high there. So what do you think? Like these will coming to India because US का तो बहुत कम इंडिया में रहता है. So how do you think?
So I've seen an indicator in the sense that I'm seeing a slight openness coming, nothing massive yet, nothing at a macro level, which is an eye opener as such. But kya ho raha hai? I'll give you a small example of how I can relate to this question, right? Our faculty pool is quite large now, right? We have a few people who teach ACCA in UK or in one of the other countries who are actually teaching our students now. They've taken a couple of papers to teach our people. It means they are starting to cater to the Indian customer base. It's a very specific niche I'm giving you, but the point I'm trying to make is that whether they'll come to work in the Big Four here or they'll shift to India to work, it's something which we'll have to wait and see. But in terms of the audience in India growing, or the ability for these guys to come and serve in India, that's basically we are seeing small these indicators.
So that means like Europe market is opening and we'll be sending work to these offshore units which Big Four has set up. Abhi there is not much kind of work, but like अभी US से तो अच्छा सा खासा काम है, but UK यूरोप काम नहीं देता है. And if it start coming, then what do you think? ACCA will be more valuable here in India?
Yeah. So already now there. So first of all, when you're talking about offshoring, right? The point is that ऐसा नहीं है कि projects नहीं आ रहे या काम नहीं आ रहा है. I'm assuming you're talking about people coming, because if you talk about massive companies, right? आपने Maersk का सुना है? Shipping company, logistics company, MNC. There is a company, right? MERSK. Very large company. They have a massive amount of their finance and accounting unit in India, Pune and Chennai. Now, what I mean to say is that this is an example of what you're saying, right? The corporate, like the companies, a global MNC, and they have a huge amount of their finance and accounting work happening from their Indian base. So as long as the work is not really a concern. When it comes to people coming is one thing which we'll have to more or less see. I'm starting to see these, like I said, these micro trends of people studying with us online and all of that.
Okay. So, sir, thank you so much for coming. And one more thing I want to ask, like, is Zell coming up with something new, something brilliant, which you want to say it out here?
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for that. So we are so there are so I'll make it very simple, right? What we try to do at Zell.
Mm-hmm.
We have with our results, right? Like you rightly
Mm-hmm.
said, we are almost double of the global average when it comes to passing rate.
Correct.
Every quarter in ACCA, we have almost in the last, I think, 3 or 4 years, almost
Mm-hmm.
every quarter, we've had some rank holder nationally
Mm-hmm.
and internationally produced at Zell.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what we try to do is when it comes to launching certain offerings, right, courses, it will not
Mm-hmm.
just be a course that we think is going to work, right? We always try to see what the market is asking, and for that we have enough of a network across universities and corporates that are indicating what to do. And we have a very powerful ability to serve or deliver finance and accounting training, right? So
Mm-hmm.
anything that is coming as an opportunity for customers, we try to bridge that between um, the customer and the
Mm-hmm.
placement bit, right? So we do have a few uh, course offerings that are coming up. We launch we already are present physically. So we're teaching online, but we have our offices across India. We're launching our few offices across the other metros in India. You
Mm-hmm.
should, our YouTube channel. We have one. I think we are probably the largest finance and accounting Indian training channel. Right, we have almost 70,000 subscribers on YouTube. YouTube is very powerful.
Yep.
Where we talk about a lot of our
Mm-hmm.
offerings and
Mm-hmm.
counseling. We also have a lot of these now that we've scaled up to this level. We are hosting a lot of events, right? So it's going to be coming up most likely in May or June. We're
Okay.
going to be hosting a pan-India event with
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these powerful people who are well known in the F&A sector but not easily accessible.
Oh.
And the talk on it is simply value add to customers in a way that, यार, everything combined. चालू क्यों करना चाहिए, कौन सा क्या पढ़ाई करनी चाहिए कि नहीं, in the academic
Mm-hmm.
jargon. uh, what are the kind of opportunity we have, these big companies ke partners, business heads,
Mm-hmm.
and the HRs who are coming to show personally that this is the kind of opportunities that that is provided in
Mm-hmm.
India or to go overseas. uh, and यार हम लोग एक चीज करने के बहुत we are very much like that, and you'll notice that if you see our YouTube and all, right, we are not
Mm-hmm.
because we've come from a uh, different culture of what finance and accounting is, right? जैसे आपने suits
Yeah.
देखा है, suits?
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
you watched? Right. So
Uh-huh.
how they made law, like before Suits, if you remember, law was always for people who are good at rote learning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Law was more about people who either had some reason to love law or it was यार ठीक है career के लिए है, पर उसमें
Mm-hmm.
मेहनत ही है. Suits ने पूरा flip कर दिया. They made it
Mm-hmm.
aspirational, they made it attractive, and it's the right way to do it, right? Because law is powerful in its way. तो हमको ना
Yeah.
finance का वो है, right? If you see some of our ads, if you see the way our faculties connect with the students, right? These kind of
Yep.
events will not be too corporate or professional, right? वो तो रहेगा
Mm-hmm.
थोड़ा उसका, but there is a very clear bifurcation between the professional world that our dads have seen and what
Mm-hmm.
we are trying to do, right? Where it's like people like you, right? It's you're going to be successful in your career, not just because of your academics or because you're a very professional guy, but अपना जो conversational language है,
Mm-hmm.
अपना जो what our age audience likes, how they
True.
like to combine work life into not work life balance, their work
Mm-hmm.
and their life, right? How do you look forward to, how do you make your career something more exciting over and above just the security, right? हम लोग सब पढ़ाई कर
Mm-hmm.
रहे हैं to secure our future, but how do you make it, how do you get up and enjoy going to work, right? How do you not only succeed every day, every month, every quarter, every year by
Mm-hmm.
challenging yourself and doing more than you did yesterday, but enjoy with people, have a good time, like go, and today you can double triple your work by actually having more fun in it, right? You go and network with people, you travel through your work, and you're also making a difference, right? So as long as you understand these nuances, we try to inculcate that through Zell, from our teachings to our marketing and counseling to our events kind of hosting. We are hopefully going to be having much more to engage our FNA audience, potential audience, over and above just the direct कि ACCA करना है, CFA करना है, इसके ये benefits है, अच्छी बात है, वो तो करेंगे ही, because that's the base of securing candidates का lives. But how do you now start adding layers to make it more like make CA, make accounting, make finance something that is aspirational and not just security driven?
Great. So actually, when I started ACCA, the first video I saw is of you. So thank you so much for that. Yeah. Thank you so much for
glad,
that. So मेरे को उस टाइम I was pretty much stuck. मैंने एक्चुअली मैं CA फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट देके छोड़ा है. So मैंने क्यों छोड़ा we will figure out. कोई लोग नहीं कर पाते हैं. But I'll resume it maybe after ACCA, completing ACCA. But I need at that time a degree to like go with the flow and along with that work. So पढ़ाई के साथ साथ वो चीज वो दोनों मैनेज छुए जा रहा है अच्छा सा. बाद में देखते हैं कि CA आएगा तो फिर भी CA तो जहाँ पे वहीं से स्टार्ट कर सकता है.
Or 100%. And we have so many people because the idea is, remember what I said, right? Keep doing something. Don't be self-aware enough, yaar, ke theek hai, CA is your priority, no problem. You took it up. If you're having hurdles, right? It's not anymore about self, I won't say ego, but self-accomplishment, right? ठीक है, नहीं हुआ, to your point, park it. Don't dismiss it or don't stick to it, right? Find the highest ROI for your situation at that point. And if a different I have counseled so many people myself on this point, यार कि ठीक है, सब कुछ करना है, no problem. पर आप ऐसा करो कि बेस लेके आओ आपके पास, security एक तो लेके आओ, right? So if ACCA gets you there faster, what's the downside? It's not like you want to only start a CA firm, and if you want to also then do it later, but do it in a way that is giving you something to move forward with in your career parallel to working on that dream. But keep moving. What do you know, यार, कभी converge हो जाएगा या कभी ये opportunity आपको कुछ और दे देगा, and if nothing, you know you're going to not leave CA, or you have that option of not leaving CA, like you rightly said. So as long as you are self-aware enough now, go all out.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much for coming here today. And I'm so glad that you came. And thank you so much, everyone who watched this episode. Kindly subscribe. And if you want, like you like it, comment if you want someone next. I can maybe talk to them. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.